For more than 2 centuries, the mystery of Oak Island has captivated treasure hunters, historians, and dreamers around the world. But now, in 2026, that mystery has taken a dark and unexpected turn. Sources close to the Lagina brothers' operation have begun leaking information about what is really happening on the island, and the picture that is emerging is far more troubling than anything the History Channel has shown on air. Season 13 of The Curse of Oak Island was supposed to be the season when everything changed, when the legendary treasure was finally within reach. Instead, according to multiple insiders, the team has encountered something that has left even the most experienced members shaken. The curse that has claimed 6 lives over the centuries may not be just a legend, and what the team has uncovered beneath the surface of Oak Island is raising questions that no one is prepared to answer. The trouble began in the Money Pit area, where the team has been drilling deeper than ever before. According to episode analyses from trusted sources, the team has been focusing on a borehole designated H9.25, located on the western side of the solution channel near the RFONE and H8 shafts that were explored in previous seasons. This area is believed to contain the so-called Chapel Vault, a theoretical underground chamber that has been speculated about for decades but never proven to exist. The team thought they were getting close. Core samples brought up from depths of 198 to 208 feet were described as gooey and loose, exactly what they hoped to find if they were hitting a void or decomposed materials from an ancient structure. Metal detector hits were registered, the excitement was palpable, but then things started to go wrong. What the show hasn't fully revealed is the extent of the instability the team has encountered underground. According to detailed episode breakdowns, when the team began drilling in the Top Pocket Find I borehole, or TPF-1, they experienced a significant collapse at around 105 feet. The surrounding soil around the caisson began caving in, forcing the team to backfill the area and switch to a smaller, 7-foot diameter caisson to continue the operation. The area in question is widely believed to be the location of the original money pit, situated between the Hedden and Chapel shafts. But here's what makes this particularly concerning. This area was completely dug out by explorer Robert Dunfield in the 1960s, meaning the ground is extremely unstable and unpredictable. The team is essentially digging through ground that has been disturbed multiple times over the past 2 centuries, and each new excavation increases the risk of catastrophic collapse. But the money pit area is not the only source of concern. In the swamp, where the team has made some of their most intriguing discoveries in recent seasons, new evidence has emerged that suggests human activity dating back much further than previously believed. Dr. Ian Spooner, the team's geoscientist, has identified 3 distinct time periods of possible human activity in the swamp: the 1200s, the 1600s, and the 1800s. The presence of activity in the 1200s is particularly significant because it aligns with the era of the Knights Templar, who were active from the early 12th century until their dissolution in 1307. But it also raises a disturbing question: if the Templars were on Oak Island in the 1200s, what happened to them? And why would they choose this remote, swampy island as the location for whatever they were hiding? The revelations from inside sources have only deepened the mystery. According to the official episode guide for Season 13, the team has been pursuing multiple lines of investigation simultaneously, but what the cameras don't fully capture is the growing tension among the Fellowship of the Dig. Episode 20, titled The Sands of Time, which aired on March 31, 2026, promised that after finding evidence of ancient man-made workings in the swamp, the team would make a shocking revelation on Lot 8. But insiders say that what was actually found was far more disturbing than what made it to air. The swamp, long considered a secondary area of interest, has become ground zero for the most perplexing discoveries of the entire search, and with each new find, the team is confronted with more questions than answers. The swamp has been a focal point of the team's efforts for several seasons now, and the data coming out of that area is genuinely astonishing. Dr. Ian Spooner, the team's geoscientist, has been analyzing sediment cores from the swamp floor, and what he has found suggests human activity dating back to the 1200s. That is more than 2 centuries before Columbus set sail from Spain. The presence of wood stakes driven deep into the swamp floor, stakes that have been carbon dated to this period, indicates that someone was building something substantial on Oak Island in the 13th century. The leading theory, one that the show has embraced enthusiastically, is that the Knights Templar were responsible for these structures. Professor Adriano Gaspani, an Italian astronomer and archaeoastronomer who has consulted on the show, has conducted extensive research on the stone monuments scattered across the island. His conclusion is stunning. The stone cairns on Lot 15 and the stone triangle on the southern shore were deliberately constructed to align with the stars, moon, and sun, and they date to approximately 1250 AD. Nolan's Cross, the famous arrangement of boulders that forms a Latin cross shape, has been dated to around 1200 AD. According to Gaspani, the knowledge required to build such structures could only have come from a religious, monastic, or knightly order, and the Knights Templar were the most powerful such organization at that time. But here's where the story takes a truly unexpected turn. While searching for evidence of Templar activity, Gary Drayton, the team's master metal detectorist, uncovered a lead artifact that was later analyzed by archaeometallurgist Emma Culligan. The results showed that the object originated in Scandinavia. This finding has led to a provocative new theory that the Vikings, who are known to have reached North America around the year 1000, may have had a working relationship with the Knights Templar. Oak Island historian Doug Crowell has pointed out that the Vikings were the only Europeans known to have journeyed to America prior to Columbus, and they were sailing there around the 13th century, precisely when the Templars were at their peak. The theory suggests that the Vikings may have provided transportation or navigational assistance to the Templars, helping them reach Oak Island and establish the complex network of underground tunnels and chambers that have baffled explorers for centuries. Not everyone is convinced. When this theory was presented on the show, viewers took to social media to express their skepticism. One user on X, formerly Twitter, sarcastically asked, "Vikings and Templars were friends?" Another wrote, "Third stuff is the blood of the Vikings victims." A more historically minded viewer pointed out a glaring chronological problem. Artifacts found on the island have been dated to the late 1400s, but by that time, both the Vikings and the Templars had faded into history centuries earlier. The Viking Age is generally considered to have ended in the 11th century, and the Knights Templar were disbanded in 1307. If the structures on Oak Island date to the 1200s, that places them squarely within the Templar era, but at the very tail end of Viking activity. The idea of collaboration between the two groups is speculative at best, and many fans have grown tired of what they see as the show's endless stream of unproven theories. The skepticism from viewers is not without reason. After more than a decade on the air and 13 full seasons, The Curse of Oak Island has developed a reputation that extends far beyond its core fan base. Critics have called it an objectively bad show and insultingly bad. Yet it continues to attract millions of viewers who tune in week after week, hoping that this time will be different. The show's formula is brutally simple. Every episode ends with a montage promising that next week will finally deliver the goods, actual goods this time, real evidence that something significant exists on this Nova Scotian island. Then next week arrives and delivers an hour of finding waterlogged wood, corroded metal fragments, and geological anomalies that, upon closer examination, mean absolutely nothing. The final minute teases next week again, repeat for 13 years. It shouldn't work, and yet here we are. What makes the show's success so remarkable is the complete absence of meaningful discovery across 13 seasons. No treasure has been found, no legendary artifacts have been recovered, no resolution has been reached for any of the Baroque theories about Knights Templar, or Shakespearean manuscripts, or Viking treasure ships. What the Legina brothers have found instead is a formula for turning that absence into compulsive television, a carefully engineered machine for generating suspense without ever delivering satisfaction. The show works because it understands something fundamental about how television can manipulate investment. Give people characters they recognize, a quest that sounds romantic, and just enough new information each week to justify the hour. It doesn't matter if the information means nothing. It doesn't matter if the quest is obviously futile. What matters is maintaining the possibility that next week might be different, next week might deliver, next week the whole thing could pay off. But now, according to insider sources, something has changed. The leaks that have been emerging from the island suggest that the team has encountered problems that go far beyond the usual frustrations of flooded boreholes and inconclusive core samples. The curse that has hung over Oak Island for more than a century, the legend that 7 men must die before the treasure can be found, has taken on new and troubling dimensions. Officially, 6 men have already died in the search for Oak Island's treasure. The first was an unnamed employee of the Oak Island Association, who was killed in 1861 when a mechanical drainage pump exploded. In 1897, Maynard Kaiser fell to his death while digging for an excavation company. Then in 1959, 4 lives were lost in the same tragic incident when an operations manager named Robert Restall entered one of the boreholes his team had dug, hit a pocket of noxious gas, and lost consciousness. His son and 3 colleagues went in to rescue him, but only 1 came out alive. 6 deaths, according to the official count. The curse says 7 are required, and that is where the dark turn in the story begins. Sources close to the production have indicated that the Legina team has experienced a series of health scares and accidents that have not been fully disclosed to the public. Marty Legina, the engineer and businessman who has funded much of the operation, has reportedly been suffering from mounting stress and physical exhaustion linked directly to the island. While no official statement has been released, those who have worked with the team describe a man who is visibly worn down by the years of pressure, the financial strain, and the emotional weight of leading a search that has consumed so much of his life. The question that some are beginning to ask is uncomfortable but unavoidable. Is the curse of Oak Island affecting Marty more than anyone realizes? And if so, what does that mean for the future of the search? The accident involving Alex Legina, Marty's son and a key member of the team's engineering core, has been one of the most closely guarded secrets of the current season. According to reports that have only recently emerged, Alex was involved in an accident at the Garden Shaft, a location that has been a focus of the team's excavation efforts. The exact nature of the accident has not been disclosed, but Alex himself took to social media to address his recovery. He wrote, "I've spent a few weeks reading through your messages, and I'm honestly blown away. The road to recovery after the accident at the Garden Shaft and the exhaustion during the Templar Trail was a bit longer than I expected." He added that he is happy to say he has finally been given the green light, that his health is stable, his energy is back, and he is ready to get back to work. The fact that Alex, a trained mechanical engineer who specializes in analyzing tunnel structures, solving flooding issues, and guiding technical excavation work, was injured on the island is deeply significant. If someone with his expertise and caution can be hurt, what does that say about the dangers lurking beneath the surface? The Garden Shaft accident is not an isolated incident. According to insider accounts, there have been multiple close calls that have not been reported in the mainstream media. Team members have reportedly experienced falls, equipment malfunctions, and near misses that could easily have resulted in serious injury or death. The soil around the Money Pit area is notoriously unstable, a consequence of 2 centuries of repeated digging, backfilling, and collapsing. Each new excavation disturbs the ground further, increasing the risk of cave-ins and structural failures. The team has been using steel caissons to stabilize their boreholes, but even these massive structures are not immune to the island's geological quirks. When the team was drilling in the top Pocket Find Eye borehole, they experienced a significant collapse at around 105 feet, forcing them to backfill the area and switch to a smaller caisson. That collapse could have been catastrophic if anyone had been in the wrong place at the wrong time. The psychological toll on the team has been equally severe. Rick Legina, who has dedicated more than a decade of his life to solving the Oak Island mystery, has spoken publicly about the exhaustion and frustration that comes with the search. But insiders say that his private struggles are far more intense than what he reveals on camera. The years of disappointment, the financial pressure, and the weight of carrying the hopes of millions of viewers have taken a measurable toll. Rick has reportedly experienced health issues related to stress, though no official statement has been released. The curse, whether real or imagined, seems to be reaching out from the island and affecting those who dare to dig too deep or get too close to the truth. The Templar Trail, mentioned in Alex Legina's social media post, is another area of concern. The team has been following what they believe is a trail of clues left by the Knights Templar leading from Europe to Oak Island. But the exhaustion Alex described suggests that the physical demands of this search are extraordinary. The team is not simply walking around the island with metal detectors, they are digging, drilling, lifting, and operating heavy machinery in challenging conditions. The weather in Nova Scotia can be brutal, with cold temperatures, high winds, and heavy precipitation making outdoor work miserable and dangerous. Add to that the constant pressure of filming, the scrutiny of millions of viewers, and the knowledge that every failed attempt is broadcast to the world, and it becomes clear why the curse of Oak Island is not just a legend, but a lived reality for those on the front lines. Perhaps the most troubling leak to emerge from the island concerns the nature of what the team has actually found. According to sources who wish to remain anonymous, the discoveries in the swamp and the Money Pit area are not pointing toward treasure in the conventional sense. Instead, they suggest something far more unsettling, evidence of ritualistic activity, possibly involving human sacrifice or other dark practices. The Knights Templar were accused of many things during their persecution in the early 14th century, including heresy, idolatry, and the worship of a mysterious entity known as Baphomet. While most historians believe these accusations were fabricated by King Philip IV of France to justify seizing the order's vast wealth, what if some of them were true? What if the Templars did engage in secret rituals on Oak Island, rituals that left behind traces that are only now being discovered? The symbols carved into stones, the alignments of the boulders, and the objects found in the swamp could all be interpreted as evidence of something far darker than a simple treasure cache. The producers of The Curse of Oak Island have a vested interest in maintaining the mystery and keeping viewers tuned in week after week. They are unlikely to reveal the full extent of the danger or the darkness associated with the island. But the leaks keep coming, and the picture they paint is increasingly disturbing. Alex Lagina's accident at the garden shaft, the collapse at the top pocket find borehole, the health struggles of Rick and Marty Lagina. All of these events point to a search that is taking a real and serious toll on the people involved. Whether the curse is supernatural or simply the cumulative effect of 2 centuries of dangerous digging in unstable ground, the result is the same. Oak Island is a dangerous place, and it has a way of punishing those who try to uncover its secrets. As Season 13 continues to unfold, viewers will be watching closely for any sign that the team is getting closer to the truth, but the leaks suggest that the truth may be far more complicated and far more unsettling than anyone imagined. The treasure of Oak Island, if it exists at all, may not be gold or jewels. It may be something that was never meant to be found, and the curse that has claimed 6 lives may be preparing to claim a 7th. The only question is, who and when? The Lagina brothers have said many times that they will not give up until they have answers. But as the dangers mount and the darkness deepens, one has to wonder, at what cost? And is any treasure worth the price that Oak Island seems determined to exact?